Yeah, we could watch this. When a teen killer realizes she has been caught.
Footage has never been seen before.
Grandma.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
I'm not going to ask any questions right now until we get.
What would make a grandmother emotionally break
Disclaimer,
down
disclaimer,
like that?
disclaimer, 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 disclaimer,
What would make
disclaimer, 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 disclaimer.
a grandmother emotionally break down like that? For Karen Brooke, it was the murder her 15-year-old granddaughter, Alyssa Bustamante, just confessed to.
Oh man.
If you had to describe Alyssa Bustamante's childhood with a single word, it would undoubtedly be tragic. According to case documents, Alyssa confided in a mental health professional that she had been subjected to severe mistreatment at a young age.
Oh my
The
God.
resulting trauma led to Alyssa being diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder.
Damn.
And the doctor stated she developed an abhorrence for violence. She'd been the result of a teenage pregnancy, as her mother, Michelle, was only 15 years old when she was born. Though her grandparents were excited to have grandchildren, Alyssa's parents, Michelle and Caesar, weren't prepared for parenthood. It wasn't long before Alyssa was joined by 3 younger siblings, twin brothers, and a sister named Emma. The children grew up in a turbulent household. Caesar Bustamante was eventually charged with 3 counts of assault and was sentenced to serve assault in a turbulent household. Caesar Bustamante was eventually charged with 3 counts of assault and was sentenced to serve 3 concurrent prison terms. There was no stability for Alyssa,
Why is the mom
and sister,
blurred?
and they were often evicted, forcing them to constantly pack up and move.
Oof.
Michelle's parents, Karen and Gary Brooke, stepped in to help take care of the children. However, they soon found that many of their efforts, such as sending food to the family and visiting, were all in vain. Eventually, they realized that there was only one thing they could do that would truly make a difference in the children's lives. The grandparents decided to campaign for full custody of Alyssa and her siblings. When they gained full custody of the children, Alyssa was about 8 years old. Living with her grandparents offered her stability for the first time in her life, but Alyssa had already been exposed to far too much. Seeking a new start, Alyssa's grandparents moved the family to the small town of St. Martin's, Missouri, where they bought a nice home on a large piece of land. Right away, the twin boys and Emma flourished in their new location. But
That's
Alyssa
a cool
seemed
house.
to have difficulty adjusting. It was in this small town of just over 1,000 people, where everyone knows everyone, that Alyssa's gruesome crime would devastate all who lived there. It was Wednesday, October 21st, 2009, when Alyssa's younger sister, Emma Bustamante, now 6 years old, knocked on the Oltons' front door. She wanted 9-year-old Elizabeth Olton to come out and play. The Bustamantes and Oltons only lived 4 houses down from each other, and the 2 young girls would often play at each other's houses. But on this particular day, Elizabeth would never make it home. Elizabeth Olton was a typical girly girl. Before Emma showed up at Elizabeth's house, she'd been excitedly practicing her lines at the dining room table for an upcoming musical, Noteworthy. Elizabeth's mother, Patty, said she couldn't go play at first. Dinner would be ready soon. But the girls begged her enough for her to finally give in. Patty gave her daughter clear instructions to be home by 6 p.m., when the sun would nearly be set in late October. And Patty trusted that Elizabeth would come home, since the 4th grader was terrified of the dark. Emma and Elizabeth played board games and hopscotch in the Bustamante driveway. Eventually, Elizabeth told Emma that she needed to go home. Emma stood on the big rock by her driveway and watched her friend begin her walk home. However, she didn't stay to see if Elizabeth made it all the way home safely. Emma was later asked by investigators if Elizabeth might have walked through the woods to get home, but she was adamant that they never went in the woods. Emma continued playing outside, though she didn't know for how long. At some point, she lost a hair tie in the thorns by her driveway, and when she tried to retrieve it, she scratched her hand and her foot got stuck. Emma said she yelled until Alyssa came to help her, claiming Alyssa had been in the house and heard her through an open window.
Yeah.
As Alyssa helped her out of the thorns, Emma noticed a spot of blood on the thigh of Alyssa's pants. She asked her sister about it, who explained it away by saying she had her period. Alyssa made her little sister promise not to tell anyone about the blood. When 6 p.m. passed, Elizabeth hadn't returned home. Worried, Patty called Elizabeth's cell phone over and over, but there was no answer. Patty then called Emma's grandmother, Karen.
Hold on. Like, what goes through their mind, bro? That is my question. What goes through their mind when they do these acts?
Ask if Elizabeth was still at their house. Karen told her that Elizabeth had never even been to the home and wasn't even aware that the girls had been playing. She hung up and immediately called the police. Authorities began their investigation by interviewing the last known person Elizabeth was with, Emma Bustamante. Emma described playing with Elizabeth from approximately 5 to 6 p.m. before Elizabeth left for home. Grandma Karen sat in the room during this questioning, Emma continually glancing at her as she answered the investigators' questions. There was one detail Emma gave that struck investigators as odd: the bloodstain she spotted on Alyssa's pants. Karen seemed removed from the interview, but toward the end she stated, "We just want the truth to come out, whatever it is." By 10 p.m., word of the missing 9-year-old spread through this small town, and hundreds of residents came out in support of the Olton family to search for little Elizabeth. When they had searched the whole neighborhood, as well as the woods, and turned up nothing, law enforcement decided to ping Elizabeth's cell phone and found that it led back to the 60 acres of woods behind her home. Volunteers made a strange discovery: a hole in the woods in the shape of a grave.
Oh, no.
As the forensics team began to process the scene, the FBI began interviewing Alyssa. For reasons that are still unknown, they brought her to the hole, where Alyssa admitted something odd. She dug the hole. When questioned why exactly she dug it, she said she just likes digging holes and would bury dead animals when she found them. Strangely, the hole ended up being empty, but investigators knew something was very off with Alyssa. They then conducted a search of her room and discovered a shocking key piece of evidence.
Which one?
One that they would wait to confront Alyssa with until her videotaped interrogation. This led to the most dramatic meltdown in any interrogation we've analyzed yet.
Meltdown.
Oh, damn it, I don't get a scrimmage here.
Huh?
I don't get rocks.
Yeah, rocks. So if you don't mind, if I sit here so I can write, because I'm going to be taking a lot of notes. So.
Okay.
It's important to note that when a person is brought in for interrogation, law enforcement have likely developed a reasonable suspicion that the person is.
Oh my God! It's so cold! It's so cold! It's so cold! I'm so sorry.
In the interrogation room, going in, she fully believed Alyssa was innocent. She was in for the shock of her life as the truth began to unfold right before her eyes.
Walk me through exactly what happened.
We didn't go to seminary that day, right? Okay, so I woke up and I got ready and I went out to go get the bus, but I missed the bus because it doesn't usually pick me up.
Okay.
So I went back to the house and my grandpa gave me a ride to school.
Yeah.
So I went to school
Mm-hmm.
and
so far so good, I guess.
And then I came home on the bus and I got home around 3. No, 4. 3:30. 3:30, 4. I get home around then and I just hung out in my room for a little while. And then I went for a walk around 4:35, something like that.
She's feigning ignorance, commonly referred to as playing dumb.
I was just walking.
Bro, hold on. I don't even know what time is it right now. I always have to check, cause even though I just checked like 8 minutes ago, I still haven't checked. Okay, 4. Cause I forget, bro. Like, I don't know.
I was supposed to take my little sister with me, but I ditched her because she's annoying.
Okay.
And I was just walking around in the forest, and then for about an hour, I came back.
So the time, I don't really even blame her for the time, not knowing the time.
I went up in my room, and I heard like yelling. So I went outside, and she was down in the ditch area. She was stuck in thorn bushes. So I went down there and I helped her out. And she asked me why I was bleeding. Because, I thought I was on my period. And like, yeah, don't tell anyone that. And so we went out there. And my brother and Anthony were asking about it because she was supposed to be at home or something.
Okay.
And I didn't really think much of it, so we just went back to the house.
Alyssa nonchalantly shrugs her right shoulder.
Right?
Shrugging only one shoulder is considered a modified shrug,
What's that?
or a variant of a natural shoulder shrug. Abnormal movements like this often suggest uncertainty in what the person is conveying. She leans to her left,
what?
an additional nonverbal display of discomfort. The interrogator is in the position of power, blocking the only exit. Although she initially appeared comfortable, Bustamante is now attempting to regain her power in a position of powerlessness.
Wait, what? Hold on, I never knew that. That if you like shrug one shoulder, is like, what?
Started to get ready to go to church because we have Wednesday night activities.
Okay.
And he came, and he was patting on the door, and he was like, "Do you know where Elizabeth is?" Because he couldn't find her.
She begins to nod her head as she speaks. This
Like,
does not align with her baseline pattern of nonverbal behavior. Something is off.
Oh.
Although we can only speculate, this may serve as a self-pacifying behavior. Bustamante is assuring herself that what she says is
It's true.
believable.
Yeah.
Alternatively, Bustamante's head movements could be a conscious or subconscious manipulative nonverbal meant to spur agreement and empathy in the interrogator.
Nah, cause hold on. Sidebar. Why is it so cold in my room right now, bro? That's all I gotta say.
People were like, "Oh, what's going on? Like, where is she?"
Continue to observe all the nonverbal indicators of discomfort that we mentioned previously, but take note of contrasts.
We ended up going to church, and I don't know, a lot of stuff happened while we were there because it's from 7 to 8:15-ish. And when we came back, there was 3 sheriff cars in our property, and there was people out searching everywhere. And that's pretty much it. I went to sleep after that.
Okay.
Bustamante says, here. She does not use this consistently throughout the interrogation. It is not one of her baseline tendencies. Because she does not regularly say, this moment is worth noting. It's also interesting to note that Alyssa uses what is known as an exclusion qualifier when she states, that's pretty much it. According to the retired CIA interrogator, Philip Houston, an exclusion qualifier is defined as being a tactic that enables people who want to withhold certain information to answer your question truthfully without releasing that information. Examples of exclusion qualifiers include statements such as, not really, fundamentally, for the most part, probably, and so on.
That's pretty much it. I went to sleep.
Nah, hold on. I'm so sorry. Hold on. I'll be right back, Giga Lynch. It's so cold. Yo, bro, I had to get a fucking blanket, bro. I had to get a blanket, bro, because it's so cold.
By stating that's pretty much it, she's technically being truthful, but only by leaving out key details and withholding information, specifically the murder of Elizabeth Olton. When the CIA is interrogating an individual, they conduct both body language and statement analysis. They look for clusters of 3 or more indicators that occur in either quick succession or all at once. This exact moment is the perfect example of what a CIA officer looks for during an interrogation to determine if someone is being deceitful.
That's pretty much it. I went to sleep after that.
When Alyssa states that's pretty much it, there are 4 indicators that occur within just a few seconds. The aforementioned
Hold on.
a half shrug of the shoulder, shaking of the head, and then nodding the head. Note how she shakes her head no as she states, that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it.
This is known as incongruent body language, though of course you always want to look for clusters. This particular moment is significant.
Yo, bro, fam, I don't know how to say your first name, gang. Riyadh to go. I have to go, but Riyadh to sing for me. react to this. Nah, I'm not from Cali. I'm from New York, gang. It is freezing, my friend. It is freezing. I had to put on a blanket, bro. It's freezing, gang. I'm from NYC, man. I'm from NYC, New York, man. I got to put this on.
As it's paired with other indicators,
I had to, bro. I
including
had to, bro.
analysis. Alyssa employs the exclusion qualifier multiple times throughout the interrogation. See if you can spot the other moments where she employs this tactic and post the timestamp in the comments.
Let's see.
Okay.
Alyssa gives Officer David Rice the outline of her movements on Wednesday the 21st, but two things become clear during this retelling of events. Alyssa had come into contact with Elizabeth Olten on the day she went missing.
Yeah.
And Alyssa unwittingly places herself in the woods where Elizabeth's cell phone last pinged and where eventually they'll find Elizabeth. This confirms opportunity and the place for the crime to take place. But Alyssa's motive comes across as calm and confident.
Right?
Now, you have a boyfriend.
I do.
Okay, what's his name?
His name's
Dustin.
What's his name, bro?
Do you know, has anybody talked to him about any of this? Or
I'm pretty sure he's been interviewed.
okay.
Alyssa's boyfriend had been interviewed by law enforcement, and when the interview opens, we see him biting his nails and looking nervous. According to the case files, there had been an eyewitness who claimed to see a teen allegedly resembling him near the location of Elizabeth's disappearance. This interview took place after Alyssa's own interrogation, though he was also interviewed previously as well. And as the interview begins, he had just taken a polygraph test and was about to be confronted with the results.
You're not being truthful with me about everything that's going on here. You know, and we need to get the truth. That's what we're here for. You know, we know a lot more stuff than we're leading on to believe. We've talked to several people.
The interrogator sits closely to Bustamante's boyfriend, Dustin.
No snow, gang, no snow.
He states that they know Dustin has more information.
Wait, Ashley, now that you mentioned snow, hold on, I got the window right here, bro. I don't even want to snow. Nah. It made more sense if it would have been snow outside. With this weather, bro, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy cold right now, bro. Like, it's unbelievable. You know what's the crazy part too? My mom, she left today. She left to go to the warm, bro.
Direct confrontation approach.
She left to go to the warm, but left me over here.
Your friends, we've talked to several friends, and they've told us some stuff. They've told us some phone conversations they've had and everything. So what do you know?
Yeah, what do you know, gang?
I don't know anything.
Just come clean, man. Just come clean, bro.
What do you know? Nothing. All that I know is what the FBI told me.
What does the FBI tell you?
Why is the polygraph telling me different? Why is your body telling me different? Why is your heart telling me different? I'm nervous. Nervous has nothing to do with it. We've talked about that.
The interrogator is looking for a reason why Dustin is nervous. The polygraph test is all about psychophysiological detection of deception, PDD, or the use of physiological measures to detect lying. It measures certain autonomic physiological markers, such as heart rate, perspiration, and blood pressure. Examiners measure these markers at suspects' baselines before they're interrogated. Then they measure how these markers change from question to question. These markers are associated with anxiety, which is often present when one lies. The interrogator knows that Dustin is nervous. However, the polygraph cannot show exactly why he is nervous, when he is nervous. An adrenaline spike to a question could indicate lying or some other form of emotional arousal, not directly related to the topic of the question. The interviewer isn't outright saying if he failed the lie detector test. Later case documents revealed the polygraph's results. Alyssa's boyfriend was asked 3 questions during this polygraph, all concerning Elizabeth. Did you physically cause her death? Did you physically take her life? Did you do anything physical that ended her life? He answered no to all 3. Yet, according to the case files, it was determined that he was being deceptive in some way with his answers to all 3 questions.
Nervousness has nothing to do with it. Nothing at all. Your heart rebels against a lie when you normally tell a lie. There's nothing you can do to control it.
Facts.
You can try to control your breathing all you want. You can think of other things all you want. But your heart, that right there, is going to tell the truth.
The heart is the first autonomic physiological baseline measurement collected. Some studies suggest that both heart rate and respiration rate show no significant increase or decrease, depending on whether the subject told the truth.
Nah, my friend, hold on, bro. Hold on. Nah, cause, hold on, bro. Bro, I'm so sorry, bro. I didn't even, bro. What? Hold on, cause you guys don't even know me like that, bro. Trust me when I tell you, my friend, that I don't get cold like this, bro. I do not get cold like this. It is rare for me to get cold like this. But today, my friend, today is different. It better be not. It better be. Never mind. Let me not say it. Yeah, I find out soon. Better not be this. Like this, man. It better not be like this, bro. Hold on, cause I gotta. Let me go back for y'all. Let me go back. There you go. Hold on, cause why is it this cold, bro? It makes no sense right now, man. Oh, hold on, bro. Bring my mic over here. Bring you over here. Here. Here.
Collected. Some studies suggest that both heart rate and respiration rate show no significant increase or decrease, depending on whether the subject told the truth.
Hey.
But research has produced mixed results. Regardless of these inconsistencies, what is most telling is how suspects respond when under the impression that they were caught in a lie. Let us see how Dustin reacts when the interrogator implements this technique, a technique we will explain in just a moment.
What if I told you that we did a neighborhood canvas out there and talked to all the neighbors that live out there, even the neighbors that live in the subdivision behind where I live, and then there lives in the subdivision behind where I also lives. Talked to all those neighbors. We did a spot check out there with cars. Now all the cars that came off and came through there, we stopped and talked to them. What if I told you somebody saw a kid about your size in a black hoodie with a black t-shirt and blue jeans on, standing there on the side of the road next to the guardrail?
From that point on, we see the interview begin to use what is called the read technique.
The read
technique is an interrogation type used in the accusatory process. An interviewer tells the suspect that the results of the investigation clearly indicate they committed the crime in question. It's a 3-phase process, beginning with fact analysis, then a behavioral analysis interview. This phase is designed to be non-accusatory to develop investigative and behavioral information. The third phase follows, when appropriate, the 9 steps of interrogation.
And we did a photo lineup.
A photo lineup is crazy.
We did.
During the initial neighborhood police canvass, The eyewitness said that they had seen a strange boy in a dark t-shirt and baggy pants standing alone at a guardrail near where Elizabeth went missing. The eyewitness had been shown a copy of Alyssa's boyfriend's driver's license photo, and they claimed that the picture resembled the person they had seen. We know that eyewitness testimony is notoriously inaccurate. Though admissible in court, witnesses rely on autobiographical memory, specifically episodic memory, which is a type of recall involving events with contextual details,
right now,
such as
bro,
where and when something
the
occurred.
cold I'm having right now,
This type of memory
actually,
is sensitive to memory bias. A witness might recall a suspect
it's
wearing
actually
a blue
crazy,
shirt
bro.
a day after the occurrence, but state that the shirt was red a week later.
So why is it? I wasn't there.
Alyssa's boyfriend comes across pretty confident, borderline defiant, when he looks the interviewer directly in the eyes.
Nice.
It's interesting to see him be combative with the interviewer at the mention of law enforcement having already done a photo lineup. Contrary to popular belief, anger is a more common reaction in individuals accused of something that is not true. If law enforcement had completed a photo lineup and it led to a positive identification, he would have already been arrested and charged. The constant accusation becomes exhausting, and suspects just want the process to end. They assume that admitting something will end the interrogation, and most suspects think that invoking the rights of silence and counsel will label them as guilty. Alyssa's boyfriend is strong-willed throughout the entire interrogation and didn't take any of the bait the interviewer dangled in front of him. After he is questioned by the interrogator in the video, he's then questioned by Sergeant Rice. It was then that he confirmed the investigator's suspicions all along. He had been hiding something.
Exactly. What did she tell you? She told you that she killed her.
Damn.
Well, told you that she killed her. She told you that she strangled her. And what else?
Cut her. She didn't get into detail with that. She just said strangled her and cut her.
Wow.
On October 22nd, Alyssa had gone to his house and told him about the crime she'd committed just the day before. He denied having ever been involved in the crime and said he wasn't present when it happened. So why had he lied?
You haven't said anything.
Why would you lie, bro? It makes no sense, bro.
Once she ever found
Oh,
out
she scares her.
I gave away information that got her locked up. When she, like, I have a family, and she finds out where I live because she's obsessed about it and kills everybody. What if she gets out on bail?
That's reasonable,
and
not that lie.
finds
That's
out
reasonable.
a way how to take off her ankle bracelet, and she comes and kills me in my sleep and my mom. And then
That's
finds out
reasonable.
where my
He's just scared.
sister lives and kills her.
He's just scared, man.
Scared of what?
Her and
You already told you, bro. I've heard, bro.
I'm gonna have any more girlfriends like this.
You poor guy. Well, I guess that's not all crazy. I guess that's understandable.
Dustin was never
Damn.
implicated in the murder of Elizabeth Olden. Back in Alyssa's interrogation, Sergeant David Rice pulls a map of the surrounding woods and neighborhood.
There's like a tree line. If you were to like draw this for you, I have a map. Oh. Well, isn't
Now,
that
the thing
big?
about this map, I
Okay.
don't think it has where your actual house is. So the way I understand
It's
the
about
new
right
house
here.
would be right back here, is that right?
Yes, around there.
Okay, let's say the new house is ballpark here.
And then there's a trail that goes out here, and it's like right.
Draw it for me if you will,
Okay.
please.
I'm not exactly sure how
Damn.
far back it goes. It's like
You can't
past
see the
all
paper?
clearings, and then when it starts to get to like a smaller trail and whatnot, there's a little side thing. It's like a side trail I go off on.
It's something we always do is we'll walk a person through their day and we make a timeline just so we go through everything. So what time did you go for your walk?
The interrogator is using the TED technique,
What's
or
that?
the tell, explain, describe technique. He is
Oh.
making it clear to Bustamante that he wants her to recount
Thank
the day's
you.
events in
Yo.
a narrative.
Yo, Please tell me I heard that. The heater's on. They turned on the heater. Oh my God, thank you, bro.
By recounting
that
the day of
heater
events as
on,
a
bro.
narrative, Bustamante is more likely to reveal
Thank you.
other telling personal or contextual details.
I went for a walk around 4:30 or 5.
Mm.
Okay. So how long, when you got home about 3:30, how long were you at home messing around before you went on your walk, do you think?
I was home at least an hour.
Okay,
and a half.
so about 4:30 or 5 you went.
Right. Well, there's a, I believe that this little line here is the trail or something. But
Did you go out all this way over
Yes.
here? And then where'd you go from here?
I just kept following the.
Where does
path.
it go from here? Show me.
The interrogator speaks more rapidly and presses Bustamante for an answer. During this portion of the interrogation, Bustamante has displayed many disruptions in speech, frequently saying and like, and altering her vocal intonation.
It
Ballpark.
goes like, it does some turns and whatnot, but it's a pretty easy path to follow. It's like
Okay.
a road path.
Well, I mean, show me what, does it loop back around now?
No, it doesn't loop. It like goes this way, I think.
Okay.
But nowadays,
And then
like is always
and then-
used though. Like it's overused nowadays, so I don't think it's a reasonable. What's it called? The word. What's it called? I forgot what he said. He said about conflict. I think it was like expression of holding back. You can't even use that because like is
It was a pastor. I just hung out.
like is overused nowadays.
And then what'd you do?
I came back.
Then you walk back.
Yes.
And then what'd you do?
I went home.
She draws out the I and ends by saying home with an upward inflection.
I went home.
This is what linguists would
Like
say.
question mark, basically.
1. Upward inflections are used when asking questions.
Yeah.
Bustamante lacks confidence. 2. Drawing out words conveys a double meaning, but the statement is not implicative, or not meant to convey a double meaning. Put together, her underlying communication is, I am not confident in what I am saying, and what I am saying is in conflict with what I am thinking. As we move forward, listen for these subtle cues. Sometimes it is not just one word, but a combination of words that tell the true story.
How long did that take you to do?
It
Okay.
takes about.
How long were you on your walk? That's what I'm
Oh,
asking.
walk? It's about 15 or 20 minutes, I believe. Right, Grandma? It's the first cap pasture we went to when we took Princess with us.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Okay. How long were you gone that day on your walk?
I was gone for about an hour.
Okay, so you were gone about an hour. When you walked up there, the cow pasture, what were you doing up there?
I was just, enjoying nature, taking a walk.
Alyssa happily draws the path she took on her walk for Sergeant Rice, which confirms her knowledge of the surrounding woods.
Yeah.
She recounts her day again.
I mean,
Suspects
if you
are
live
typically
around
asked to
woods, bro,
repeat.
how you're not gonna know? Like I live around woods. Like I know that woods like the back of my hands now.
Their story several times so that law enforcement can look for inconsistencies or for information that only the perpetrator of a crime would know.
We went to church and just did the activities till 8, came back, and everything was crazy.
So you got back at 8, and then, I mean, what did they tell you? What?
Well, they were like, yeah, there's 3 sheriffs here. People are out searching for her. They can't find her.
They just
And
said she was
they
missing?
Yeah, they were like questioning me about the day.
Bro, I can't talk
They didn't
about that
actually
right now, bro.
question me that day though, because I went up to take a shower, and then I don't know, they just left or something. And I went to bed.
So they just told you it was missing?
My grandpa did, yes.
How did that make you feel?
I was just, I didn't think it would happen.
The interrogator asks how it made Bustamante feel, and she responds cognitively, explaining what she thought instead of how she felt. It is easier to describe thoughts than emotions for individuals who struggle to identify emotions. It could be reasonably assumed that Bustamante is emotionally stunted in certain but not all ways.
Like, things like this don't happen.
Like,
Even though she says that she didn't think something like this, a little girl going missing, could happen in St. Martin's, Missouri, she doesn't seem
It
too
could happen
concerned
anywhere.
or shocked or surprised. The investigator then asks what Alyssa knows about Elizabeth.
Tell me about
Well, she's 9.
Okay.
I don't really know that much about her either.
I mean, tell me what you do know.
Okay. She'd come over and swim. She's kind of girly, like
Okay.
not like naturistic, I guess
Okay.
I'd say. She can be annoying.
Okay. Okay. Well, there's been there were some folks out there out in the forest, I guess, digging some holes or looking at some holes. And I guess they had said that you like to go out there and dig holes. So I'm gonna have to ask you some stuff about yourself.
Okay.
Because obviously that plays in there if they were looking holes and you're out there in the forest and that sort of thing. So
It was raining that day too.
Tell me a little bit about yourself so I understand where all this is coming from.
I really like nature, animals, being outside. It's just naturistic like that.
Like,
And I get bored really easily, and I'm entertained really easily.
Okay.
So digging holes is just something to do.
Alyssa keeps this explanation casual and surface level. It sounds like digging holes is genuinely a hobby for her, which doesn't seem too odd given the fact she's a teenage girl in a small town with probably not a lot to do.
yeah.
But at the same time,
Her room is
it's still
messy.
interesting to note. She mentions that her brothers and her dig holes all the time, sometimes near their home, sometimes out in the woods.
Okay. You just like to dig holes?
And I like to
It's
climb
a
trees.
Pretty.
Okay.
I climb trees, I get it.
Very, dead animals that I find because I believe it's respectful to them.
Okay.
Huh?
It almost
That's the
seems like
first
Alyssa
sign.
is beginning to understand where the direction of questioning is starting to head.
Yeah.
Yet her behavior remains calm. David Rice, as the main interviewer, is playing everything very casual. He makes it
That's
seem
the
like
first
he's on her side
sign.
and doesn't believe she has anything to do with Elizabeth Olton going missing.
What kind of holes do you dig? Tell me about these holes you dig.
Hold on, check.
You dig them a certain way every time, or just dig a hole?
Just dig a hole, pretty much.
Okay. Just wherever they're at? I mean, do you dig at a certain spot or what?
Whether digging holes is a hobby of Alyssa's or not,
That's a weird
she
hobby,
makes
not
it
to
seem
lie.
like the most normal thing in the world for a 15-year-old to do in the woods.
I'm such a not dirt kind of girl.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I don't do worms and I don't do dirt.
Well, I'm in rugby,
Oh.
and so we do a lot of contact, physical in the mud and whatnot. And I
I know several
really
girls
enjoy
playing
that.
rugby. That's kind of the thing right now, isn't it?
Yeah.
The interrogation turns into a friendly conversation
Aw.
between the juvenile counselor, Ms. Toby Mayer. The woman sat next to Alyssa and told the rest of the room about how girls' rugby is a new sport to the area.
High school girl rugby, and they get after it.
Oh, I'm sure they
yes,
do.
they do.
The school
I'm
doesn't
sure
sponsor
they
it because it's too dangerous, but there's a team
Hey.
in Jeff
I
City.
know there's at least 2
Good for
teams
'em.
in Jeff City.
Yes. I'm not sure about the other one, but I'm on one of them. So
And you love it.
I do.
And you love the mud. And
It's
you
so
love
much
dirt
fun.
under your fingernails. Do you mind worms?
Sergeant Rice gets right back to business, steering the conversation back to the holes.
This hole that you dug, when did you dig that hole?
Sunday, I
Sunday.
believe. Yes.
Why did you dig that hole?
Because Sunday I was bored. You don't really do much on Sunday. Can't watch TV, play video games, So decided to go outside.
There's something in her voice that tells you she's not being entirely truthful. She's also
I feel like
beginning
it's
to
like
nod her head a
questions.
lot, which could be her way of trying to convince Sergeant Rice that her
I feel like
story is
she's
true.
trying to.
When did you dig it?
She's asking questions. I feel like she's asking questions instead of what's it called? Like telling the truth, basically, like a statement. Bro, it's so
I
cool,
think my
bro.
grandpa would have the exact time.
This statement is odd. It's unclear how or why Alyssa's grandpa would know the exact time the hole was dug, especially considering what is revealed later.
I don't really remember.
What were you doing Sunday? I mean, tell me about Sunday then.
Her nonverbal indicators are more obvious. Look for the self-pacifying behaviors mentioned earlier, in addition to new behaviors like lip licking and interlocking fingers.
We didn't go to church
She's
Sunday
full
night,
off. She
'cause
is
we were at
closed
Mom's
off.
house, I believe. I was at my mom's house for the weekend.
Okay.
She lives at the lake. And we came back around 5, and I know I dug it before dark, so it was sometime in between. Wait, what time did we come home?
I didn't pick you up till 6.
Well, it must have been in between like 6:37, I guess.
You picked her up where?
Eugene.
You picked her up at 6 p.m. at Eugene?
Right.
And it's how long the drive?
Half hour.
So you got back home 6:30, 6:45-ish probably?
Maybe been right at 6:30.
6:30?
About 25 minutes.
Well, it's getting dark by then.
Yeah.
Well,
So you got home at 6:30,
yeah.
and how did you dig a hole at what? So what did you
Well,
do
that's
Sunday? Well, I'm not asking what your grandpa. When you got home at 6:30 at Sunday, what did you do then?
Yeah, why would your grandpa know, bro? Leave your grandpa out of this, bro.
Oh, I think I took a shower and went to sleep, so I don't think I did it. I think it was Saturday, actually. No, because I wasn't here Saturday.
Bustamante is digging herself deeper and deeper in her
She
own
don't
hole.
even know.
Well,
Now that's crazy. Now that's crazy. The time shit, I get it. But not knowing where you at, like the day of, that's crazy, bro. That's actually crazy.
Sunday,
Not knowing where you at
Sunday,
on days.
Monday.
I think it was Friday then, because I was here Friday.
It would
Not
seem
knowing where you at
possible.
at times is crazy.
Right,
And you weren't here Saturday,
right.
Like today's
and you didn't
Saturday.
do it during the week because there's
Right?
only
Yeah,
Monday,
today's Saturday.
Tuesday.
Right.
So then you're thinking it had to have been Friday.
Yes.
These weaknesses in her story will later be exploited in the interrogation. But for now, David is playing it close to his chest. He's aware her story is changing, and it seems like Alyssa is also realizing that her story is starting to fall apart.
Okay, so tell me about Friday. Do you remember Friday? Did you go to school on Friday?
We didn't have
Okay.
school Friday.
No school on
So I
Friday.
got up around like noon.
hold on, chat. I gotta fix myself,
So
man.
were Grandma and Grandpa home on Friday? Or did you work on
I'm gonna take off the green screen right now, man. I'm gonna take that shit off because actually, hold on. Actually, I could leave it like this. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it like this actually.
Grandma and Grandpa home on Friday? Or did you work on Friday?
Saturday.
You worked half a day, so you've been home at noon?
12:30 is when the sun comes. Get it back quarter to.
Okay, so was she asleep when you got home?
I just do not recall.
Okay.
That's fine.
So then
She's a
Friday,
teenager,
what you
bro.
think
They
back
don't talk.
Friday?
After getting up, I hung out for a while at the house, and it was a nice day Friday.
She is deflecting or attempting to redirect focus elsewhere.
Yeah, nice
In certain
day.
contexts, hair stroking is a pacifying behavior.
Really?
Hair stroking is not one of Bustamante's baseline behaviors and is occurring in a high-pressure context. This is likely a pacifying behavior. Bustamante is uncomfortable.
Relatively nice day.
Really?
So I
Oh, I do used to like
Go
without
outside.
stress and stuff.
just do whatever. And I dug a hole.
Alyssa's bouncing
Mm.
around more than she was at the beginning of the
Yeah.
interrogation.
Bro,
She's rocking
yo,
back.
bro. So that ass, you just gotta stay the same the whole interview. If you're like this the whole interview, you gotta see. Yeah, like if you start like this, you gotta finish like this. Just where my hand is and all that. Like what, bro?
back and
That shit's
forth,
crazy.
nodding her head. It seems that as her story is unraveling, so are her nerves of steel.
Why did you dig that hole?
Because I was bored, and I felt like doing something.
Tell me about that hole, though. It's a very specific hole. I mean, it's a very unique hole, I should say.
Are all of your holes like that?
No.
Okay.
But why? You dug the hole, so you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Rice is describing
why,
the hole in
why?
a vague way to see if Alyssa might add anything that would explain why she dug it. She doesn't really have an answer or a reason to give as to why she dug that particular hole.
That was a very, very unique hole.
Why is it unique?
I guess. I was digging. I mean, whatever shape comes to mind. I was just entertaining myself.
Carefully.
The reason I'm asking, it just seems like and you can understand why, as if people were out in the woods looking for a person, if they were lost, or God forbid, looking for, if they thought it was God forbid, a body, why they would be alarmed by that hole, because they're, come along a hole, freshly dug hole that was, and so think a perfect rectangle about 3 feet by about 4.5, 5 foot, straight shovel marks down, about, as you described when I talked to you out there, about that deep.
Interrogators probe for specific answers after asking broad, open-ended questions. This is, again, part of the TED interrogative technique, or the tell, explain, describe technique. Imagine the flow of interrogation as a funnel. Alyssa's interrogation has become more focused, narrower. Rice is asking a very specific, probing question. Not only does he ask a very specific, probing question, but he illustrates with his hands the exact size and shape of the hole.
So she can see, and the grandmother should see too.
Inches of dirt.
Hold on, bro. I'm so cold right now.
Packed dirt, almost as if somebody were digging down, got to a point where you got to those roots in that hard dirt and realized it's too hard to dig. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Rice relays details and speculation surrounding the crime scene, but does so from Alyssa's perspective. Alyssa is likely to identify with the story he tells. Liars tend to distance themselves from their lies, but Rice has psychologically repositioned her into a self-identifying mindset.
Yo, bro, Rice,
her
bro.
nonverbal indicators become increasingly
W Rice right
prominent.
down, bro.
Most people, if they were just going to bury a bunny
How?
or something out there, they dig.
Bro, detectives and all that are so are so smart, bro. How, bro? How? I don't understand how.
Hole, but for a 15-year-old girl to dig a perfectly rectangle 3 by 4 or 5 square rectangle hole, it just caught a lot of people as very odd.
That makes sense. It does.
The hole Alyssa dug is the perfect size and shape for a small grave. It's a perfect 3 foot by 5 foot rectangle, shallow, and is alarming to come across during a search for a missing
Is it
child.
there,
What do
though?
you think about that?
When Sergeant Rice asks, "What do you think about that?" to Alyssa, he's using the theory of the crime development, where the investigator knows there was a crime, but doesn't understand all the steps involved and doesn't fully comprehend the motive. This is where interrogators will use deceptively innocent questions to get the suspect to fill in the gaps and create a plausible working understanding of the events.
Well, I guess, the timing for digging that hole was definitely not good.
Have you ever dug a hole like that before?
I have.
There's an entire discussion about other holes of similar shape and size that she's dug before. These holes are where she buries animals, but there's no clear indication if Alyssa happened upon these animals' bodies or killed them herself.
It's a start
It
anyways,
doesn't matter
bro.
if it's a year old. They have sonar. They can run right over it, and they can tell you the shape, the depth, the whole thing. I mean, we're talking about guys that have the FBI. They have instruments that can do just about everything.
This is subtle intimidation meant to imply that Alyssa need not lie.
Have you dug a hole like this before then, or is this the first time?
It's not completely like this, but it's kind of like that.
Okay.
Kinda like that.
Shoebox.
Okay, but this is the first time of that size.
Yes.
Okay.
But what about the big round ones that I kept falling in? And I mean, they're deep. And I kept telling kids, "Did you guys quit doing this? Because they're dangerous." And we used to ride our horses up there, and I could break a leg. I mean, they're huge.
Okay.
There's like 3 or 4 of them. Yeah. And this is on our property.
Digging pits for what?
I don't know.
It was entertaining.
Okay.
The holes, bro? How are holes
And we like to
entertaining?
make traps, just occasionally, put some sticks over it and some leaves.
Yeah, we find
For you to break a leg.
we pull them in, yeah.
Well, if they have horses, that's not a good idea, is it?
Well, we don't ride our horses
You
up
know,
there.
I was going to say, if a horse breaks
Right,
its leg,
right.
what happens?
I know, but
Yeah.
we didn't do that. We don't ride the horses up there.
Well, we used to.
We used to, but we don't.
You have horses. You
We
like
do.
horses.
I do.
They're not rectangle. They're
Big round ones.
big round. I don't know what that matters, but
Okay. Did
This is crazy to me, bro.
ever go on walks with you in the woods?
Nope.
The questions asked here are entrapment questions, and if any
Entrapment.
inconsistencies are found, the suspect's statements would be treated
That's a
as
cool word.
lies.
Entrapment.
This type of questioning places additional pressure on the suspect as the interrogation continues.
I know you said she was a girly girl.
Yeah, I've
but-
never seen her in the woods.
Okay. I mean, did you ever take her on walks in the woods or anything like that?
When I go on walks, I like to go by myself.
Okay.
Here we see a clear inconsistency in what Alyssa is saying and what her body is saying. When asked if she has ever gone on walks with Elizabeth in the woods, Alyssa states, nope. Her head movement transitions from side to side to up and down. Alyssa's body tells a different story.
Oh,
What do you know about all
wow.
this so far? Obviously, unfortunately, your poor family's been thrown in the middle of this.
His additional comments, such as,
Your poor family.
family has been thrown into the middle of this, relay that he feels sympathy for Alyssa and her family, however false that sympathy might be.
What do you know about this whole investigation or mess?
She's still missing. They're out looking for her. They don't want more volunteers because there's a lot of volunteers so far. This is really big. They've had helicopters
Yeah, they have.
searching as well. And I don't know, that's pretty much what I know.
As noted previously, she responds cognitively rather than from a place of feeling. She doesn't have much to say about her family when Toby and Sergeant Rye start empathizing with what Elizabeth's family must be feeling. And interestingly, her face falls into a neutral expression, and she stays silent.
Neutral. Oh.
It's very sad for her.
Yeah,
Could you
her-
imagine if it was missing? God, it would be awful.
Yeah, and her mom, her family has.
Yeah. I mean, that's
I'm sure
why
her
they're
mom
making
is
such a big
devastated.
deal about this. I
Yeah.
mean, can you, like I said, if it, I mean, you can
She just
understand
shake her
why
head.
this
Running
is
down
going
the
on.
stairs when I was screaming outside. I mean, I just can't.
Shaking her head.
I know,
Silence.
I've got kids.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. What do you think happened to Elizabeth?
Sergeant
Entrapment.
Rice moves into opinion questions now.
Oh,
Many
never mind.
interrogation questions are closed, meaning they warrant a yes or no response or elicit a single fact or piece of information. Opinion questions are open-ended. Interrogation studies have shown that open-ended questions will get all suspects to talk longer and to be more likely to divulge incriminating evidence without even realizing it.
Well, I really don't think she would run away because she's 9. And the way they've been searching for 2 days, never got any sign of her. So I think that maybe
Whoa.
someone kidnapped her or something. It's a terrible thing, but I don't know what else to assume.
Innocent individuals might be more likely to mention that they don't know. Guilty individuals might feel more compelled to provide an explanation that doesn't fit with the crime they committed.
Wow.
We see this as Alyssa evades the topic of murder.
Would she have easily been lured into a car? I mean, was she that kind of girl? I don't know anything about her. Would she? I mean, would she have been like with a kitten? I mean,
Maybe. You'd have to ask her mom about
sure.
Do you think somebody did something to her? I mean, is that
that seems most likely because I don't think she'd be the kind of person that would like hide or stay out all night or anything like that.
okay? Is there anybody in that area you can think of that would? I mean, that comes to mind that you would think that
Let's see who she blames on. Let's see who she blames on.
that would do that. Is there anybody that, knowing your neighbors, that you would?
No.
Oh, wow.
Rice baits Alyssa to place blame. Guilty
Yeah.
suspects commonly deflect and offer helpful explanations, as Alyssa does here.
But there is a lot of cars that drive down that highway.
Okay, just a few opinion questions. I'm just asking your opinion because
What follows are loaded questions.
Loaded
Here's
questions.
the first one broken down.
what type of person do you think would do this sort of thing to a 9-year-old girl?
1. It's assumptive. It
Mhm.
assumes that someone did something to Elizabeth. 2. It's
Mm.
vague. It assumes that someone did something but doesn't specify what that something is. 3. Use of
Mm.
this versus that. This is used as a definite article. In grammar, the function of a definite article is to imply but not state what is being referred to. In other words, this is used in such a way that the speaker is assuming that the listener knows what this is. Further, this implies that something is closer to the listener, whereas that implies that something is further away.
Yo, bro, these people are smart, bro.
4. Use of 9-year-old girl. This is distancing language, or language that creates psychological distance from...
And they meant... Notice how he didn't say the name of the girl.
The main topic of discussion, i.e. use of that versus my. Up until this point, they've referred to Elizabeth by name.
Yeah.
It also calls attention to Elizabeth's vulnerability. 5. It's a mirror. Guilty parties are forced to analyze themselves and resultingly come face to face with who they are and why they did what they did. This can produce observable signs of cognitive dissonance, a subjective experience of discomfort when two or more ways of thinking, feeling, or otherwise experiencing clash. The dissonance may include discordant ideas,
I didn't even know that, not a lie.
etc.
What type of person do you think would do this sort of thing to a 9-year-old girl?
A sick person, like someone that, I don't know, can put down all their morals and just take a 9-year-old girl.
Alyssa pauses, stutters, and struggles to get the words out. She's looking in the mirror. She parrots Rice, 9-year-old girl, using a parallel tone and inflection. Sociopaths and psychopaths hide in plain sight by observing and mimicking the mannerisms and behaviors of those around them. The word "this" served as a placeholder. Whatever Alyssa said would represent what she knew this to be, but Alyssa evaded this trap. She could have filled that placeholder with "kill," but she filled it with "take." On the other hand, this could be seen as a slip-up, as Alyssa did technically take Elizabeth into the woods.
Yeah.
Whenever we find out what happened to her, if somebody did something to her, what do you think should happen to them?
Oof. That's a good question.
I think they should
go to jail.
Get convicted. Well, yeah, because all the trouble that they caused and so far.
Alyssa is faced with her fate. We can see and hear her cognitive dissonance in her ums, pauses, and nonverbals, which all indicate discomfort. There are many areas in which Alyssa could slip up and incriminate herself. For instance, she could use possessive language, say I instead of they. She may be aware of this, suggestive from her halting breaks in speech. The next questions that follow are direct and straight to the point, even though he prefaces that he asks everybody these questions.
I'm going to ask you because I ask everybody. Did you do anything to her?
No.
Did you cause her disappearance?
No.
Did you kill her?
No.
Okay. Do you know where she's at right now?
No.
Okay.
Alyssa's responses may seem convincing. She says no with conviction, appearing to shake her head back and forth in tandem. We covered that inconsistencies between verbal and nonverbal behaviors imply lying. So why do Alyssa's verbal and nonverbal behaviors appear consistent with one another?
Wow.
A closer look reveals that Alyssa ever so slightly nods her head up and down after each no response. Incongruent head movements are more often subtle, as we see with Alyssa, than exaggerated. Directly following the big question, did you kill Elizabeth? Alyssa says no, and begins to shake her head back and forth, but stops halfway. She's not committed to what she's saying.
I may have, I'm new to this, so was playing with.
That's my understanding.
And when was that?
Oh, they were sometime after I had gone in the forest, because I guess I just decided to go over to Elizabeth's.
Oh, after you ran away, she went to find somebody new to play with. Can I go to the bathroom?
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Do I need to stop?
Yes.
Yeah.
You okay?
Do you need to go to the
I didn't know the doors
bathroom?
were
Do you need
locked.
some water? Okay.
You do.
Okay.
That's my
After a break in the interrogation, Alyssa
Finally,
sits
bro.
quietly in the room alone.
40 minutes of
Rocking
this.
back and forth, as with other repetitive body movements, is a self-pacifying nonverbal behavior. Toby takes advantage of downtime to build rapport with Alyssa.
Who's on your room, me too.
Uh,
It's not through the school because it's too dangerous. Live with rashes. Right.
What's that noise?
As soon as
That's
Detective
outside.
Rice re-enters the room, Alyssa begins to immediately display the self-pacifying behavior of hair stroking, something she didn't do right until the moment Rice reappeared.
Hair reminds me just of a niece. It's just like, all right,
I'm good.
okay, everybody good? Everybody good on drinks and everything? So, okay.
Alyssa sits expressionless as Rice and Toby exchange lighthearted small talk.
You know, I used to talk to my parents, and they said, I grew up listening, we didn't have a TV, we had a radio, and I'm like, God, you didn't have a television? You didn't have the internet?
Sergeant Rice asks about Elizabeth Olten's cell phone and tells Alyssa that law enforcement knows Elizabeth had her phone at the time of her disappearance. She's told that with the software available to law enforcement, they can find any cell phone anywhere on the planet. It's a simple scare tactic, but it's a way to say that any lies will be found out.
Is there any reason at all that your fingerprints would be on that cell phone?
No.
Okay. So
Bro, I don't get how people do this, man.
Right.
Can you think of any
How do
reason
people
why
have the mindset
touched
to
that
actually
cell
commit
phone
these
when you were
crimes,
out that
man?
cell phone? I mean, in the past, any time at all. Now, it's my understanding that did the FBI do a search or something of the house where you guys lived?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that. What was that all about?
They searched our house, I guess, for any signs of, and they found stuff in my room, but not like evidence like that. They found like marijuana seeds and
And you understand, I don't care about marijuana seeds or any of that.
and they found
Care less.
my medication.
Don't care about that.
Yeah.
That's not no medication. That's
That's not what we're here about. Has ever been in the house? I mean, she's coming over
She
to
has
visit
been in
with
the
them.
house, yes.
Yeah, I assume if she's a neighbor girl, she's probably been over there, so not a big deal there. So you said they searched your room.
Yes.
Other than marijuana seeds and that sort of stuff, did they find anything?
Nope.
Okay, did they take anything?
They took my sheet and
Okay.
a pillowcase, I think.
Did they take anything else?
I don't think so. I haven't really surveyed anything.
ooh, the blood.
Okay.
I think they took clothes
Oh, they took a pair of my pants.
and a diary.
Really?
I mean, they gave us the list. It's not all coming to me what was on the list, but there's a long list.
This moment is incredibly
Oof.
significant. Up until this point, Alyssa had no idea her diary was collected as evidence.
I mean, they gave us the list. It's not all coming to me what was on the list, but there's a long list.
Your diary.
A diary.
You ever gone through the diary?
I've looked at some of it, yes.
Did you know that?
No.
Angry?
A little.
Yeah. It's kind of your private, personal thoughts, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Alyssa's bedroom was anything but ordinary of what you
Yo,
would
bro,
expect
that
for a
Joker
15-year-old girl.
Poster is crazy.
The room was messy.
Yeah,
with
that's what I'm
clothes thrown on
saying.
the floor.
That's
But
what
it
I'm
was the bizarre
saying.
writings all over her walls that caught investigators.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. What the hell is that? That's what I'm saying. It's too messy, bro. Like, how old is she again? I forgot how old she is. It's too messy to be like a girl. A girl's room is cleaner than the boy's room, and it's too messy.
And a drawn
That line, that quote, that lyric, that book, I don't know what it means, but that shit is crazy.
figure with slash marks to their head and arms, with the name Emma, Alyssa's younger sister, written next to it.
Oh no.
Some of these writings, including dark poems, were written in pen and marker, but others looked like they'd been written in blood. Letters and cards were taped up onto the walls from her father, who was still in prison at the time, and on Alyssa's bed, hidden under a blanket, was her journal. She wrote down her thoughts and feelings like any normal teenage girl, but nothing could prepare the investigators for what else they would find inside. The journal was filled with disturbing thoughts, including Alyssa's desire to burn a house down with the family inside. She wrote another entry which stated, "If I don't talk about it, I bottle it up, and when I explode, someone is going to die."
Oh my
Her
God.
last entry, dated Wednesday, October 21st, was the same day Patty Olton reported Elizabeth's disappearance to the police. Alyssa had scribbled the words out in blue ink, thinking no one would ever figure out how to read them. Despite her efforts to cover up the entry, investigators were able to read the disturbing original writing.
Really? How?
"I just fucking killed someone. I strangled them,
Oh
slit
my
their
God.
throat, and stabbed them. Now they're dead. I don't know how to feel at the moment." It was amazing. As soon as you get over the, "oh my God, I can't do this" feeling, it's pretty enjoyable. "I'm kind of nervous and shaky though right now. Okay, I gotta go to church now, LOL. This entire time, Detective Rice was
Wow.
well aware of the sickening confession Alyssa had written inside,
Oh.
and was waiting up until this moment to confront her and take her completely off guard. From this point onward, there will be a massive shift in Alyssa's demeanor as she realizes the games are over.
Do you think they went through your diary?
If they collected it, then most likely.
He remains
Yeah, she
silent
knows.
for 13 seconds, and you can see how uncomfortable Alyssa becomes. He will continue to use long moments of silence to make Alyssa uncomfortable and eventually draw out a confession.
What? Well, I think I'm just embarrassing things if they find it at me.
The most important aspect of reading body language is analyzing clusters rather than individual indicators. In the following clip, you'll see a cluster of indicators that Alyssa exhibits, suggesting she is experiencing high levels of stress.
So,
She smacks her lips,
so.
swallows, flips her hair. She'll then exhibit what is known as the freeze response, which is
Freeze.
a limbic system response to danger. She
Really?
gets so still, she almost appears to be a statue.
Wait. That's really a thing? That's why oh my God. But why? I want to learn about the body, bro. Because why do we freeze? Why? I know, bro, there's not everybody freezes. Not everybody freezes. Some people have like that flight response. I believe so. Nobody could, not everybody in the world could freeze. Someone has to have that flight response.
We talked a little bit earlier about technology.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you write something down,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. Let's say you write it down in pencil, and then you take a pen and try real hard to scratch it out.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make it go away.
Okay.
It's still there.
Well, now she knows.
And forensically, and actually you don't even need a whole lot of forensics. If you hold it up to a light, you can see what was written.
Really?
And then when that's processed,
I did not know that.
forensically,
I really
every
did not know
word,
that.
every stroke is still there.
I did not know that.
Do you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
What we want to do is find out what happened to the little girl.
Okay.
Alyssa's face, though a bit grainy in the footage, is almost frowning. She's struggling to keep it together, giving only short answers to Rice's questions. Then, Rice drops another bombshell.
I need to know what the truth is.
Okay.
We have your diary.
Mhm.
We've read your diary,
Mm-hmm.
including the last entry.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. Yeah, you're cut, bud. You're done for, bro. You know it, bro. Just tell him. Tell him before he tells you. Tell him before he tells you. Tell him before he tells you. I think that's also why they pause. To give you a chance to like, I did this, and this. I'm so sorry. I don't know. But I think that's why they pause. Tell him before he tells you, bro. Come clean. Come clean, bro. Come on.
He goes silent for a full 70 seconds. Just over a minute. It may not seem like a very long time.
But
when
it
you're
is.
in an interrogation
It is. It
and
is.
under pressure.
It's like
This silence must have felt like the
longest minute of your life, bro. Just think about it, bro. Every time you take a test, you just sit there, and it's like the longest 3 hours of your life, bro.
Longest silence Alyssa ever endured. And you can see her face start to falter.
Yeah.
Maybe her eyes are watering up, but it's hard to tell. Some argue that the first person who breaks silence in an interrogative setting loses the round. Alyssa indulges the silence, which might be more telling than if she objected to Rice's implication.
So you, wait, which might be more telling than... I truly believe that she should have talked right there at that moment. I think I would have talked right there at that moment because I would have been just, all right, I'm done. I did this, and that. I would have talked, not to lie. Cause, nah, bro. 70 seconds, bro. 70 seconds.
Alyssa could be brainstorming.
Or
She
that.
could be terrified.
Or
It looks
that.
like there was a moment when Alyssa might break, but then she seems to reset her emotions and remain quiet, staring back at Sergeant Rice.
We both know what we're talking about here. Where's she at?
I don't know.
I'm sure we can reason that.
What?
We deal with kids all the time. We deal with kids all the time. That's all I've done for 12 years is deal with kids. You're not going to say anything in this room that's going to catch us off guard. Okay? We need you to be honest. Just be honest. If you know something, then say it. Okay?
Toby is making a serious error here by involving herself in the questioning. She is a juvenile officer, and in taking this role, she's supposed to be acting as Alyssa's advocate, not as an interrogator. She is limited to observing the interrogation and protecting Alyssa's rights. She is crossing the line here, and due to this mistake, the confession was later ruled inadmissible in court, citing deceptive tactics.
Figgity! Toby, what? What? Come on, man. Come on, Toby.
The confession was later ruled inadmissible in court, citing deceptive tactics being used to draw a confession out of Alyssa.
Please continue. Just say it if you know something.
Toby, shh.
You need to tell us the truth. You need to tell us what
No, Toby, you mess it up. You fumbled bad right there, bro.
If this was an accident,
Nah,
that's fine.
Toby. You're supposed to be an advocate. Wait. Now, hold on. Give her the benefit of doubt. Is she a cop, or is she just like she just does the advocate stuff? Is she a cop? Is she a D's? Is she anything that has to do with this? Is she one of those, or is she just the advocate? Because if she just the advocate, she should have known. Like, she should have known, okay, my job is here just to advocate for her and all that stuff. But if she's an advocate and a cop, or the D's, like her, like, instinct might have kicked
You
in.
need the truth.
So it's not even her fault.
With Rice saying it's fine if it, meaning the death of Elizabeth, was an accident. This is the minimization part of the Reed technique that's been used throughout this entire interrogation.
9 steps.
Minimization is an interrogator's attempt to decrease a suspect's resistance to confessing by downplaying the seriousness of the crime. We can tell Alyssa is teetering on the precipice of confessing, toying with the idea. Cornered by 2 questioners, she tightly compresses her lips as she builds the courage to confess.
We have to know the truth. That's all I'm asking for, is whatever happened. I have to know the truth. This is not going to go away. All I'm asking for is the truth.
I
I feel bad for grandma though, bro.
I don't know the truth.
That's what I'm asking. Tell us what happened.
I feel bad for their families, bro. Like, just tell the truth, bro. Like, straight off the bat.
The lip pull is a micro-expression that signals intense displeasure, dislike, or disagreement. In sports, players will often exhibit the lip pull after a loss. They are resistantly admitting defeat. Alyssa exhibits the lip pull here. This may speak to Alyssa's mindset. Is this remorse or regret? Or is it defeat? The interrogator will now begin to reiterate the accident theory, and at this point, I think Alyssa's grandmother is losing her mind in a very quiet and composed way.
If this was an accident, that's fine. We can deal with that. But I have to know what happened.
Yeah, the grandma, man. The grandma, I feel bad for grandma, man.
Deal with that. But I have to know what happened. I have to know.
Bro, imagine you take on your daughter's daughter, and then okay, I'm gonna take you under my wing so you can have a better life. And then she comes out with this, man. Like, what?
I have to know how this happened. And the most important thing is we have to know where she's at. We have to give this family some closure. Just like if this was your little sister, you would want closure. This family needs closure.
I feel bad for grandma, bro.
Okay?
She went out of her way to take you in, and you do this, bro. Like,
let's start at the beginning. Is this something that was planned out, or was this just an accident?
It was an accident.
Okay.
Interrogators often offer a chance for suspects to admit that the crime was an accident, even if all evidence suggests otherwise. This is a method for interrogators to get a foot in the door. The suspect admits to the crime, thinking they will be perceived as being...
I get it, though.
A form of minimization. It's telling that there was a pause between the words it and was.
It was an accident.
She's quickly thinking about her options and whether she can lie her way out of this situation.
Well, this is a starting point then. That's kind of what I thought.
Oh no, the grandma.
Why don't we start with what happened?
Oh, the grandma, man.
Did you get home from school at 3:30? Do you want to sit by her? You got home at 3:30?
I know why he did that. I know why he did that, though. I know why he did that. Wait. Let me pause. I know why he did that. He did that because in some cases, right? If you see a loved one like cry and like hurt, basically, like, I don't know. For me, bro, if I see my mom crying and all that, like, I feel bad, and I'm just to lay the truth out and stuff. So maybe that's the case here. Maybe that's what he thought the case was to be here. But damn, that's too far though, bro. I feel like after she looks up, right, and looks at her grandma, then you could take the grandma out. But let her peep, let her look, and then take her out, because it's hard, bro. It's hard. I feel bad.
Like I said.
Like right now, take her out. Take the grandma out. Yeah. Leave.
Is it there?
Leave. No, leave. Let the grandma leave, man.
Yeah.
Let the grandma leave, man. It's upsetting, dude. Why you gotta do that, bro? I don't get it. I don't get their mindset, bro. I do not get their mindsets.
Decided to go hang out.
I'm doing these crimes, man.
It was a nice day. We were just messing.
Take your time.
I don't think the grandma, like, yeah, right now, she's iffy because she doesn't believe it. But the moment Alyssa says, is it Alyssa? Right, her name is Alyssa. All right, bro. I don't pay attention to her name, bro. I just pay attention to her actions, man. Her actions is crazy. But the moment that she says, "Yo, I did this," take the grandma out, bro. Take the grandma out, bro. Take the grandma out, bro.
We're just messing around.
I think she's fake crying. I don't know if that's how she shy.
She died. I didn't know what to do.
I think she's lying. She's fake crying, bro. Cause
So
I don't know if she is crying. Then sorry, but I feel like she's fake crying. Right here.
Alyssa struggles to inhale. Her windpipe is constricting, which indicates the presence of severe stress. This biological marker of stress suggests Alyssa is legitimately affected. It could likewise be that Alyssa is effectively, intentionally activating a stress response for the sake of believability.
So she is lying, right? She's fake crying, I think.
So I burned her body.
Alyssa goes from sobbing to attempting to pull herself together. She abruptly and flatly states the burnt Elizabeth's body. The time it took her to pull herself together is probably how long it took for her to come up with that lie.
Wait, hold on. Burn or
together. She abruptly and flatly states the burnt Elizabeth's body.
Burnt.
The time it took her to pull herself together is probably how long it took for her to come up with that lie. In reality, she didn't burn Elizabeth, as we'll soon find out what Alyssa actually did to her.
Who helped you? Nobody.
Rice asks another assumptive question. When interrogators assume answers, suspects with answers are more likely to share them.
We're out in the forest.
I still did it by the creek bed.
By the creek bed? Yes.
the Greek bed?
How did you burn her?
And just a bunch of wood. Started a fire. And burned her body.
Okay,
The
so
only reason it seems she said she burned the body without knowing how difficult it is to actually burn a body is because burning would presumably get rid of evidence and the body of the missing girl everyone is looking for.
Why did you dig that hole? Was that for her?
Bro, the grandma, take out the grandma, bro.
Why did you dig the hole?
Take out the grandma, bro. The grandma doesn't have to hear this.
I've done that hole on Wednesday.
Before you played with her?
Yes.
First, she states she dug the hole the day of the murder to continue pushing the narrative that it was all just an accident. Then she slips up without even realizing it, stating the truth. The hole was dug on Friday, 5 days prior to the murder. At this point, Alyssa can't even follow her own story. Alyssa admitting to digging the hole before she and Elizabeth hung out establishes premeditation.
It doesn't matter whether the body's burned or not. They'll go through and do an autopsy. And they will discover every injury on her body and the cause of death. And I understand you said she fell, and that's why she died. However, they will know from the autopsy if she was
Autopsy.
shot, if she was hit in the head, if her throat was cut. They will know all of that from the autopsy. So we need to know the truth, because at the end of the autopsy, they will know exactly how she died. So we need to know now the full truth, full disclosure right now, so it doesn't come out later that, well, I wasn't telling the full truth again.
Then he calls her bluff.
How did you kill her?
She died.
How did she die? 9-year-old girls don't just die.
We were messing around. Then she fell back and hit her head.
Nah, bro, nah.
Was her throat cut?
Alyssa sharply exhales as she responds.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh no, the drama.
We see Alyssa's emotional appeal to her grandmother.
You see. That's why they did it. That's why he did it. That's why he did it.
Her emotional stuntedness appears to have limits. Individuals with psychopathic and sociopathic personality traits or tendencies, while removed from feeling in a multitude of ways, may experience normal feelings of love for family and others closest to them.
That's why he did it. That's why he did it. He said.
Oh my God.
I'm not going to ask any questions right now until we get.
Oh, grandma.
Take your time. Do you want to drink water?
Damn, bro. He had to do it to get out the truth, man.
Alyssa finally admits to cutting Elizabeth Olten's throat.
God.
Alyssa's grandmother cries out in utter anguish and disbelief. Her entire world was just destroyed. Her granddaughter, the one she rescued from a horrible
That's what I'm
situation,
saying.
just admitted to killing a 9-year-old
That's what I'm
girl.
saying, bro.
But why did Alyssa kill her?
I think you dug the hole ahead of time because you knew you were going to kill her. I think you tried to dig the hole, like I said, and realized it was too hard to dig down that far.
Damn.
And I think you got out there and knew you were going to kill her. And then you cut her throat. Is that what happened? Yes.
We hear
Damn.
Alyssa exhale heavily, possibly a sign of relief, as she runs through her actions. She does this multiple times.
What did you use to cut her throat with?
Not.
A pocket knife? A kitchen knife?
Kitchen knife.
Okay. Where's that kitchen knife now?
And the sink,
The sink of your house?
I believe so.
Okay.
Wow.
Did you stab her?
Afterwards.
Stab her body or where?
Yes.
Okay. How many times did you stab her?
2.
Two.
I think.
Alyssa leans on words such as I believe and I think. These phrases often function as hedges. In some instances, hedges serve to soften statements or make them seem more cautious. Imagine how Alyssa would sound when responding to questions without these hedge phrases.
Damn, bro.
Her response may seem overly cold and blunt, suggesting emotional detachment and even premeditation. Given Alyssa has displayed socio- and/or psychopathic tendencies thus far, it would be reasonable to conclude that she is consciously employing a social adaptive mechanism, or a learned regularity in human social behavior to mimic the normal flow of human conversation.
Did you hit her with anything first?
No.
Or did you just cut her neck? Or what? You tell me what happened.
The grandma's still crying, bro. I can hear it. Yeah. You know what, bro? I'm still gonna give praise to Karen, man. She tried her best. You know, man. She just saved people's life, rescued her grandkids, man, and then, damn, bro.
Yeah, cut throat, and she died. And I just
What is that?
stabbed her.
Premeditation has been established because she dug a grave prior
Yeah.
to Elizabeth's murder. And Alyssa
But
finally
why? What's the
tells
motive,
Bryce
bro?
what the
What's
murder weapon
what the
a black-handled
what pushed her to be like, all right, this is the day. It's coming soon. Like,
kitchen knife that she took
that's
from her
what I
house
don't get.
and hid on her person. It's confirmed that Alyssa slit Elizabeth's throat and then stabbed her.
That's what I don't
Alyssa
get.
only recalls stabbing her twice, but the autopsy later revealed that Elizabeth was stabbed 8 times.
Oh my
When
God.
she was finished, she just put the knife in the sink and washed it as if nothing had happened.
When you got home from school, about 3:30, what happened from then? Walk me through step by step.
I got home. I went in my room. I still went out before around 5:30ish. Then I walked over and it was outside.
When did you dig the hole?
Bro,
I
this
thought that
is
was
crazy,
inside the
man.
body.
So did you dig that after you killed her? Yes?
This is actually crazy.
Okay.
Dog.
So
Wow,
at
bro,
about
how you-
5:30, you went out. Did you go to her house to get her?
I went over there and she was outside, so I was like, yeah.
You knew you were going to do it then.
Oh, so she just wanted to, like, anybody. She just wanted anybody, bro. Like, huh?
Okay, so you went over there about 5:30 and got her. Was she with you?
She was for part of the way. Like I said, I ditched her.
Ditched her?
Yeah.
Did you have the knife hidden on you? Or where was it at?
Yeah, I had it.
In your hand?
No.
Okay. So you went, did you walk all the way over to her house?
Yeah.
Okay. Show me what route you went.
Trace it. No? Okay.
Went and got her. What did you tell her you were going to do?
We were just hanging out at first. I don't know. I didn't.
Oh, man. I don't even feel bad for you, Gay. I feel bad for your grandma, man.
With you?
Her grandma,
Had you
man.
made up your decision you were going to kill her then?
So why the
At
hole?
what point did you make the decision that you were going to kill her?
When we had been at the creek.
Okay. Why?
I don't know.
Serial killers murder victims who are readily available, easily accessible, vulnerable,
But she's not a
isolated or
serial
weak,
killer, though.
and desirable.
She
uniquely
only did it
appealing.
once.
Elizabeth was a neighbor, easily accessible.
Yeah.
She was a 9-year-old girl,
Weak.
vulnerable. One can only speculate how Elizabeth might have uniquely appealed to Alyssa. Either way, Alyssa cannot identify why she did what she did, just as she seems to struggle to identify her emotions. Was 15-year-old Alyssa a premature, fledgling serial killer?
Ooh.
You just decided?
Was she? Who knows?
Was she facing you? Was she turned around? What happened?
She was turned around.
You just came up behind her and cut her throat
Wow.
and then stabbed her twice. Okay. And is it true you said then you burned her body? Okay, is that part true?
Mm-hmm.
So is her body should still be there?
I burned it and then I scattered it in the creek.
Into the creek?
Yes.
Is the creek full of water?
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
Generally, it's pretty hard to burn a body all the way. So
Oh,
it wasn't burned up all the way, was it?
No.
Oh, okay,
It's
okay.
hard
Okay.
to burn a body.
Right.
So you kind of pushed what was left of the body into the water. Was the water moving pretty fast?
Kind of.
Okay. Clothes still, you can still see her clothes? Were they burned off of her by then? Okay.
Wow.
You took the knife back home?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then what did you do from there? You had the knife, and then show me what happened from there.
I just walked back and came inside.
Did you walk back this path that you showed me?
Yes.
The conversation turns back to the hole.
What about the hole, though?
That's what I'm saying.
It was just there.
No, it wasn't just there.
I dug it. Yeah, it was there.
When did you dig it?
After I was looking for something to do with your body, so I dug it.
When?
It was before I came home
Before you came home from where?
from the forest.
Bro, this shit don't make no sense right now, bro.
Who helped you?
No,
Grandpa helped you, didn't he?
no.
Rice asks her if her grandfather helped her since he was home at the time the murder took place.
You didn't have a shovel with you.
I had a knife.
You didn't dig that hole with a knife.
No way. The grandpa was involved.
You did not dig. I was out there for 5 hours. You didn't dig that hole with a knife.
There's no way
Grandpa loves
that
you very
grandpa.
much, doesn't he? Grandpa would do anything for you.
No
I know you
way.
don't want to tell me. I know you want to protect him. But we have got to get to the truth in this. You came back. You told him what had happened. And he wanted to help you. He wanted to try to make this right.
I didn't know my grandpa anything.
Who helped you?
No one.
We're going to put them all on a polygraph.
Okay.
Who helped you?
No one.
When did you dig the hole?
Wednesday.
When?
After I killed her.
When after you killed her?
This is a very common tactic in interrogations. Once the suspect is open about events, they'll try to get more and more information out of them. The investigators will treat this crime as if it involves accomplices until other parties can be eliminated. The hole becomes the topic of discussion yet again.
You've got to tell the truth.
Yeah, that hole was the
You're not
reason.
telling the truth on this part.
Someone did that for a reason, bro.
Why does it even matter now?
It does matter because we have got to find out the truth.
No, you already know it.
We have got to know the full truth. Tell us the truth.
No way the grandpa would have something involved with this,
I don't
bro.
want to way back.
No, you didn't. You didn't have a shovel.
It was the Friday one. Yeah.
You're telling the truth about how you killed her. I believe that because that matches your diary.
You've done the hard part. Just tell the truth.
Bro, Toby, shh. Toby, be quiet. Toby, be quiet, bro. Toby, be quiet. Toby, be quiet, bro.
Toby assumes a critical role in facilitating Alyssa's confession.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Toby, be quiet, bro. You're not there for that, bro.
I took it Friday.
Was it Dave? Was it?
No one helped me.
Was it your grandpa?
No one helped me. I did it by myself.
It's interesting to see how Alyssa goes from trying to lie and pretend she had nothing to do with the missing little girl to finally admitting she dug a grave and killed her. But Sergeant Rice and Toby can't believe that she committed the crime herself or dug the hole. They think her grandfather had something to do with it too. They are almost giving Alyssa a way to continue her lie, but she's probably the most truthful when they try to implicate her grandfather. Probably out of love for him, because if there were ill feelings between them, there's no doubt she would attempt to throw him under the bus.
Did you do anything else to her body?
No.
Did anyone help you?
No.
Who have you told about this?
No one.
No one? Did you tell? No. Did you tell your grandpa?
No.
Did you tell your friend?
No.
Did you tell anyone?
No.
Please don't tell me that
There's a
grandpa
good
has
reason
something
that the
wrong.
investigators think Alyssa didn't act alone. Even her boyfriend said that he doesn't think she could have carried out the crime by herself. Quite literally.
I think she did this alone.
She couldn't have.
I don't think she did either.
I mean, she could barely lift me.
I know. Who would be the person that would help her?
The only good friend that I know of that she always came out with in the back was a girl named. But that's about it.
Nah, he's snitching though. But W him though.
Right. Toby's right.
W, I don't know his name, but W him. Cause he was scared, he stayed on, he was like, just W him, man. Just, hopefully you good, gay. Not to lie, hopefully you're good.
One thing I can
Hopefully
assure
you're
you,
married and shit, you're good, man.
Alyssa, I can assure you from working a lot of homicides for the last 13 years, I do got a crummy job. The truth is going to come out. Every one of these that I work, where you're sitting here right now, going through the agonizing part of not wanting to come this last portion and tell on someone else. The truth is going to, the full truth on whatever happened here is going to come out.
Okay, they didn't do it.
Then tell me the full truth of all this. Why aren't you telling everything?
I did. I switched up the whole thing because I want to make it like an accident. But then it really was on Friday that I did the whole.
I know it wasn't an accident. I mean, I've already talked with you. I know you planned this. I know you had this in your mind. I know you thought about this, and I know you intended on doing this. I know that. Okay, I know this wasn't an accident, that it just spurred the moment. I know that from the whole.
Mm-hmm.
I know you intended on killing her, brought her out there for that purpose. But the problem is your deception is causing us other issues here. Okay, so I'm past the point of thinking, is this an accident? Did she hit her head? Did you just change your mind at the last second for some reason decide to kill her? I know you brought her out there to kill her. Okay, why?
Bro, this is crazy, bro. How long we got left?
But we're still having a problem here with this whole and the rest of it because
29?
you've been lying to us on that.
Like 30 minutes, I think.
You see, I mean, none of your times make any sense on you didn't dig it with a knife. We know that didn't happen.
It was Friday with the shovel.
When on Friday?
I'm not sure exactly.
This is where we see the shift from the lesser charge of involuntary manslaughter, a crime of passion, to that of a premeditated murder. It's clear Alyssa planned her crime from beginning to end.
Yeah.
She planned to lure Elizabeth into the woods to play
But
and
why
to dig a grave
though?
a few days before she killed her. There were signs leading up to the murder that either people didn't pay attention to, wrote off as someone just seeking attention, or it was entirely possible that they didn't think anything was wrong. Alyssa seemed to live a double life. At school, she had friends and pulled good grades, never letting them fall below a B average. Her teacher said she was a smart kid and never had any behavioral issues in school. Her social media presence showed an entirely different Alyssa. Her YouTube bio listed her hobbies as cutting and killing people.
Well, no.
Her Twitter page gave an insight into some of Alyssa's more concerning thoughts, as she often wrote about depression, addiction, and terror. In particular, one tweet read, "All I want in life is a reason for all this pain." These types of comments weren't at all unusual for Alyssa. Case documents show that one of Alyssa's friends was interviewed by police. They said that over the last couple of years, Alyssa had said to them, "I wonder what it would feel like to kill someone." According to her friend, Alyssa would even talk about what would happen if she did kill someone, speculating about whether or not she would get caught and how exactly she would kill someone. The friend thought she was joking. She'd even said something similar to her boyfriend.
Have you ever felt, do you know what it feels like to kill somebody?
She asked you that? What'd you say?
No.
What else you say?
That was it.
That was it.
We just started watching that movie. I didn't even think anything about it. That wasn't on my mind.
You didn't even think about when somebody asks you, do you know what it feels like to kill somebody? You don't think that's odd.
No.
That's just something you have normal conversation with somebody about.
Bro. Like,
it's brought up in this normal conversation.
Just how, bro? How? I don't get this. I don't get their mind, bro. I don't get their mind.
Emos think about
I do not get their mind.
She's emo, so emos think about that kind of stuff.
What's emo?
People who like to cut themselves and stuff like that, so. And think dark things.
Okay.
But I didn't know that she was actually capable of.
But then on either Wednesday, October 21st, or Thursday, October 22nd, Alyssa called her friend. Depending on which day it actually was, it was either the day she killed Elizabeth or the following day. Alyssa told the friend that she had done something really bad. The friend asked her if she knew about the little girl that was missing, and Alyssa told her yes, but asked why she was asking. Alyssa repeated over and over to the friend that it was all supposed to be a game. There were videos on her YouTube channel that involved doing dangerous things like touching a live electric fence around her grandparents' horse paddock.
What?
She forced her twin brothers to touch it and edited the video to say, right before the boys touched the fence, "This is where it gets good, where my brothers get hurt." Experts say that all of this, along with her other behaviors, indicate that Alyssa had a sadistic need to hurt others and got a lot of pleasure from it, even experiencing a release of all the painful emotions she held deep inside her. Alyssa didn't just try to hurt others, as she often directed the need to inflict pain on herself. At a young age, Alyssa had started hurting herself. All of this came to a head when at 13, she attempted to take her own life.
Oh my
She fully
God.
recovered and spent time in a mental health facility where she was prescribed the antidepressant Prozac. She began to see several counselors during her time at the facility, and once she was released, she underwent intensive outpatient treatment. So, while she ended up getting help, it didn't really help her. Back in the interrogation room, Sergeant Rice is trying to get Alyssa to empathize, or at the very least sympathize with the Olden family about how they need help recovering Elizabeth's body so they can have closure. While that may be the first priority for the victim's family, it's law enforcement's priority to recover the body so a forensic autopsy can be performed to corroborate the suspect's statements and generate additional evidence for the prosecution. Toby begins to explain to Alyssa that the judicial system treats people who tell the truth differently than those that
Bro,
lie.
Toby, that'll be quiet, gay. Gay Galed, you gotta be quiet, bro. Like you're like what? is your job, bro. Like, remember your job, man.
This is when Alyssa finally drops the story about burning the body and tells them what she really did to Elizabeth Olten.
We're going to have to talk some more about this, obviously. But for right now, I need to get a larger map.
Now's the time to just tell the truth. That's all you have to do is tell the truth. There's parts of your story that don't make sense. They don't make sense. They don't make sense even to me. Because I am your advocate and I am here to protect you. I'm not going to ask them questions, but there's statements that you're making that don't make sense. It's evident that you're lying. And we treat people who can't be honest completely different than we treat people who can be honest. You can be honest. You can tell us what happened. Even if you aren't protecting people you feel obligated to protect, we at least know we can help you, okay? So he's gonna walk out, and like he said, he can't come back and talk, but don't you wanna have told him the truth right from the beginning? This is your opportunity, it's your opportunity.
Okay, good. Slit her throat, I strangled her.
Strangled her?
Mm-hmm.
You strangled her with your
Yo,
hands?
bro, I can't believe I can't actually like make sense of this. Hold on, I'll be right back, gang. All right, my bad, y'all.
Yes.
Okay. Did you have a knife on you?
Yes.
Did you cut her throat at any time?
Yes.
Cut her throat afterwards?
Oh my god, bro.
Okay, so you strangled her first until she was unconscious, dead, and then you slit her throat.
Mm-hmm.
And did you stab her then?
Mm-hmm.
Did you do anything else to her?
No.
Okay. And then what happened after that?
I'm gonna bury your body.
You buried her?
Yes.
Is your body still out there?
I think so.
It's unclear why Alyssa seems so unsure that Elizabeth's body will be in the same location. The implication by Detective Rice is that Alyssa may have had help, and it's interesting to note how uncertain she is that Elizabeth will still be there.
You didn't burn her, did you?
No.
See, I knew you did. Still out there at the same spot?
I believe so.
Okay.
Finally, the truth. She strangled her, stabbed her, slit her throat, and then buried the body in the hole she dug on Friday. Interestingly, the specific hole that has been in question the entire interrogation was never used as the gravesite of Elizabeth Olten.
Did the hole that I saw that you pointed out, what was that about?
That was gonna be a bitch. But
Okay.
you didn't do it.
You didn't do it. Why? What was...
I couldn't dig that far. It was
Okay. How deep did you dig the grave that she's in?
It's not that deep.
Will you be able to point out on a map and take us to where she's at? Okay, you didn't burn her, did you?
No.
Did you bring a shovel with you?
No.
How did you dig the hole?
That's what I'm saying. How?
Okay.
Okay, when did you dig that hole?
That one was also on Friday.
Okay, so you dug the hole on Friday and had it all ready. Did you leave the shovel out there?
No.
Okay. So the hole was already dug on Friday.
Yeah.
And then you brought her out there Wednesday. Killed her there.
Bro, I don't get their
Wednesday,
mind, bro. I
strangled
don't get their minds, bro. I don't
her,
get their
and cut her
minds.
throat. Stabbed her twice. Put her in the hole. And then how'd you fill the dirt in?
With my hands.
With your hands.
There's still something. There's still something.
Toby takes this opportunity to push for any last pieces of information that Alyssa could be concealing.
There's still something you're not telling. I can tell.
Bro, Toby gotta be quiet, bro. I'm so sorry, bro. You're
Sure.
her advocate, bro. You're not there for.
Alyssa had dug
But
2
where
holes
is she?
that Friday.
What?
The first hole that had been discussed at length in the interrogation ended up being the one law enforcement found early on.
Yeah.
But Alyssa says that she couldn't dig too deep in that area. So she moved to another area where she could, and that's where they would find 9-year-old Elizabeth Olten's body. As the interviewer has noted, the 2 holes are interesting, but not everyone buys Alyssa's explanation. There is a theory that Alyssa may have dug 2 holes because she had originally planned to kill her 2 younger brothers. However,
That is messed up.
this theory hasn't been corroborated, and so we may never know exactly why Alyssa chose to dig 2 holes. Now that the story is clearly laid out, they've established how the murder was done and where the body is. Sergeant Ross
Now
moves
motive.
on to
That's
the
what I
motive,
want,
the
bro.
reason
Like,
Alyssa
why?
did it.
I don't get it.
Why did you pick her?
I don't know.
That's what I don't get, bro.
She's deep.
Was there something about her? Did you just want to know what it was like to kill someone?
Yeah, I just wanted to know.
Alyssa appears to cry, but her response carries a tone of indifference. Thrill killing. It is the act of killing someone for sheer excitement.
And that's the most
Alyssa
dangerous,
killed
I think.
Elizabeth because she wanted to know what it would feel like to kill someone.
That's
Thrill
crazy.
killing stems from a place of powerlessness. These killers are empowered by their murders.
Was she just someone nearby, or was it?
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be her little sister, not the lie. That she wanted to like do something with it.
She
Damn, bro.
straddles the fence between emotional upset and removedness. She lowers her head, holding her face in her hands. Psychopaths and sociopaths are not incapable of experiencing guilt and remorse, particularly if they have comorbid conditions like borderline personality disorder or bipolar disorder. She could regret killing Elizabeth out of remorse,
Yeah.
but she could also regret killing her for a more selfish reason.
Mm.
She knows the repercussions.
Take a break. Be right back. I want to get a nap.
Do you need some water? Do you need anything?
Where's your grandma at now? That's my question.
Oh, God.
I want you to look at me.
She breaks down once Rice leaves to retrieve a larger map. Toby attempts to reassure Alyssa. Again, we see her emotional instability. She struggles to self-regulate.
Oh, what the fuck?
Okay, how long?
Every 5 to 6 weeks, she's my psychiatrist.
Do you have a counselor?
Yes.
Who's that?
Girl. Yes.
Okay. What kind of medication are you on?
Prozac.
Yeah. Okay.
Prozac is a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor, SSRI. an antidepressant medication primarily used to treat major depressive disorder. If Alyssa has an underlying mood disorder, like bipolar disorder, she might experience increased psychotic symptoms, as disorders like these are sensitive to imbalanced levels of serotonin. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter that plays a role in modulating mood, sleep, and cognition.
Wow.
Specifically, antidepressants prevent the breakdown of serotonin, which may lead to an overabundance in individual systems. Psychosis looks different from individual to individual, but it can involve increased aggression, hallucinations, delusions, mania, and other psychotic symptoms. Psychosis, characterized by paranoid hallucinations, delusions, and aggression, may lead to violent behavior.
See your wrists. What happened there?
Depression.
You're better.
Yes. And I tried to kill myself. That's why I went to Vietnam.
When was that?
When I was 13, 2 years ago. But I've thought about
Wow.
it a lot since then.
How long have you lived with your grandparents? Your nose out there.
I've lived with him since I'm about 8.
Hey, were you with your mom and Dylan?
Yes.
Did she take care of you?
Not really.
Childhood maltreatment and/or neglect is a strong predictor of suicidal ideation,
Mm.
pathological aggression, and criminality, all of which are present in Alyssa.
Did she let people harm you?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
Right.
Right there before the age of 8.
Dissociation is the separation of oneself from one's identity, memories, thoughts, and/or feelings. It's associated with childhood trauma, particularly that of an emotionally abusive or neglectful nature.
Wow.
Dissociation is linked to post-traumatic stress
much stuff.
disorder, dissociative disorder, mood disorders, borderline personality disorder, and more.
How old are your brothers?
They're 11.
Close to them like you or your sister?
Yeah.
You like her, huh? My sister. Sister did. Here's my grandma.
Man, stop crying, bro.
Toby is walking Alyssa through the process of grounding. Grounding is a technique, often used in therapy in crisis situations, that pulls individuals away from flashbacks or disturbing emotions into the present. She encourages Alyssa to use her breath as an anchor, a sensory tool to call attention to physical rather than emotional sensations.
Killing yourself right now. Okay. What's on you here? Okay. Don't have any sharp objects in your shoes or anything like that. Okay. What we're going to do right now is kind of get some things lined up to go out there and have you point out that site where she's at. Will you be able to do that? We just make sure.
Where's the grandma at, though? Oh, I thought she picked something up. I was insane. No way. All right, bro. We're like,
Once
Okay.
alone, Alyssa almost immediately regulates her breathing. Her head hangs low.
The reality is, though, your grandmother loves you, and love doesn't stop. Okay? I don't want you to think nobody loves you. Your grandparents love you.
Love is unconditional.
Absolutely.
Facts.
She loves you unconditional. Now, she's not going to understand why this happened. And there are going to be some, you guys have, I have to sugarcoat this. You guys have some rough times ahead of you. But she's not going to stop loving you. And when you came back home, what did you do with that knife?
Put it in the sink.
Did you clean it?
Yeah.
Describe the knife to me again, please.
It's kitchen knife, like that one with the black handle.
Black handle.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just straight edge? Does it have those serrations in it? Do you know what I'm talking
It's just
about?
straight edge.
Straight edge. Okay.
I don't want to get in trouble though.
Well, yeah.
Because
I mean,
Alyssa's a juvenile, Sergeant Rice explains what's going to happen next in the investigation.
I want to know, though.
How they must speak to everyone that could be involved to get to the truth, especially since Alyssa lied at the beginning of the interrogation. Alyssa is then prepped to go out with Sergeant Rice. They're going back to the woods so that she can recount the crime and show them where she buried Elizabeth. Here's the audio from that excursion.
It is date's October 23rd, 2009, 2 o'clock. Sergeant David Rice with Missouri State Highway Patrol, and it is
Michael Kuti
with the Cole County Juvenile Office. And we're here in Cole County at the site where you say this occurred, where you buried. Can you walk me through, I want you to walk me through step by step, when you got up here, what actually occurred?
Here, where everything just happened. I'm gonna drag her into the hole. Area.
Okay. What happened here?
I strangled her.
Wow.
And then cut her throat and stabbed her.
Okay. When you strangled, she was...
I don't want to hear this. Stop the lie.
On the...
It's that make me upset.
Remember where she...
Wait.
Like, not pocket, but like, I'd held it.
Here, Alyssa doesn't even remember where she placed her knife during the attack. It's unclear if she's even telling the truth still at this point, since every detail seems so muddled.
Which pocket was...
What did I don't want to hear this, bro.
You will hit a total of 8 times in the chest.
Biggity.
Twice. Okay. Hole.
I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this. It's creepy.
Was laid to rest. She used her hands to cover Elizabeth's body with leaves, dirt, and twigs. Once the body was recovered and autopsied, Elizabeth Olton was laid to rest on Wednesday, October 28, 2009. She was buried in a pink coffin and carried to the cemetery by a horse-drawn carriage. Mourners wore pink and released balloons. Elizabeth's aunt described her as the morning sun that pops out over the mountain. She was sunshine, and you couldn't help but love her. In the end, it seems some details just don't add up, and it's clear that investigators believed Alyssa had some sort of help. And along with all the inconsistencies,
no one knows really.
Explanation behind how he discovered Alyssa killed Elizabeth was strange, to say the least. On Thursday, October 22nd, the day after Elizabeth's murder, Dustin stayed home sick and claimed Alyssa skipped school to spend the day with him at his residence. His mother unexpectedly arrived home at approximately 12:30 or 1 p.m. He ushered Alyssa into a closet to hide, giving her clothes to change into for unknown reasons, and continued to check on her repeatedly while she was hiding. While Dustin's mother was getting into the shower, he claimed Alyssa suddenly confessed that she strangled, cut, and killed the girl. He then claimed he told her she had to leave, guiding her to go out the front door while his mother was in the shower.
Wow.
This was his last alleged communication with Alyssa.
And the day after this happened, you skipped school and you're smoking pot with... Right? Did you tell him about this?
No.
Why not? You guys are you're close. Didn't you feel like you needed to tell somebody?
No, that's not really the kind of thing that you tell people.
Investigators also picked up on what they believed was a slip-up at the beginning of his interrogation.
All that I know is what the FBI told me.
What'd they tell you?
They told me that she buried him and then slit her throat and stabbed her. She already had a dug hole. And then buried her. She wasn't big enough, so then they buried her again.
They buried her again?
I mean, yeah.
Bro, she had help, but no one who's they.
I mean,
Who's they?
I didn't.
You're not in trouble here, okay? You're not in a lot of trouble here.
I wonder, do they find out who's
You're not in
they?
a lot of trouble here, bud.
It's just what I've been saying for the past couple of days, because I just couldn't see you doing that by yourself. But obviously, you just told me that there was another person involved, and I can believe that.
No, you told me that.
Alyssa was charged with first-degree murder. Yet even though she had confessed and even led law enforcement to the very site where she killed and buried Elizabeth, she entered a not guilty plea.
What?
She was certified as an adult on November 18th, 2009, due to the adult nature of her crime. The Cole County Circuit Judge assigned to the trial ruled that her crime was vicious and that the Missouri State juvenile facilities were unequipped to deal with someone who could commit such a crime.
Oh, no.
For over a year, Alyssa stuck to her plea of not guilty. The day before her trial, January 9th, 2012, she withdrew her not guilty plea and agreed to plead guilty to the lesser charge of second-degree murder. Since she took the plea deal that had been presented to her, she waived her right to a jury trial, but as a condition of the deal, she needed to get up in front of the courtroom and tell the events of that fateful day. The courtroom was filled with both her family and Elizabeth's family, along with most of the St. Martin's community. Alyssa told the court what she'd done, speaking in a clear, emotionless voice. She'd strangled Elizabeth with her hands and used the kitchen knife for the rest of the attack. Nearly everyone in the courtroom already knew the details of the murder, since it was well publicized in the media. However, this was the first time hearing it straight from the murderer herself. Elizabeth's mother, Patty, sobbed while Alyssa retold her daughter's murder. There were several reasons that the courts probably reduced the charges. At the time, it was a gray area whether it was legal to sentence a teenager to life without parole. The United States Supreme Court was getting ready to hear another case about two teenage murderers, and they needed to decide if life without parole was cruel and unusual punishment for people so young.
Right?
The defense said that Alyssa was diagnosed with major depression,
never mind.
anxiety disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder from her difficult upbringing, borderline personality disorder, and showed early signs of bipolar disorder.
She was troubled. She was troubled. Like
that, all of these diagnoses were the reasons behind her killing
she needed
of Elizabeth.
help, like big time
Case
help.
documents reveal a police interview with a mental health professional who had worked with Alyssa for 2 years. They shared that during an annual assessment of Alyssa, only 1 month before the interview and Elizabeth's disappearance, the mental health professional had become concerned that her depression was spiraling and her delinquent behavior was increasing. Alyssa had actually called this mental health professional soon after Elizabeth went missing. During the call, Alyssa said she was distressed about the police being in her house and searching for clues about what happened to Elizabeth. One of the most interesting pieces from the case document is that the mental health professional initially said they had no concern about Alyssa being involved in the little girl's disappearance, because in their experience, Alyssa never expressed a desire to harm anyone else but herself. Another doctor even agreed with this same belief. However, they also conceded that they could be wrong. This interview took place 2 days after Alyssa killed Elizabeth.
Wow.
Alyssa's defense tried to prove she didn't know that murdering someone was wrong. In contrast to this, the mental health professional was asked during the police interview about whether or not Alyssa understood the difference between right and wrong, to which they replied, absolutely.
That's where they
Her
effed
defense
up.
also pointed out that Alyssa's dose of Prozac was increased only a short time before she killed Elizabeth. They claim that this increase may have played a role in making her behavior unpredictable, and even could have made her more prone to violence. One question that everyone comes back to is why Alyssa had done it. Her grandfather said that the night Alyssa killed Elizabeth, she seemed to be in an unusually good mood. Her mood, along with
That's
her
what I'm saying, bro.
show that Alyssa,
it's the why for me, man.
Was like a thrill killer. Thrill killers receive a rush of euphoric adrenaline from the act of killing their victims, which would explain why Alyssa was so happy after the gruesome murder. On February 8, 2012, Alyssa addressed the court and apologized, saying, I really am extremely sorry for everything. I know words can never be enough to describe how horribly I feel for all of this. If I could give my life to get her back, I would. I'm sorry. Alyssa was sentenced to life in prison. But this story doesn't end there.
Wait, what?
Due to the publicized nature of the crime and the lead up to the trial, Alyssa became something of an underground celebrity. There's an online fan club and Facebook groups in support of Alyssa, some displaying artwork of her and even profiles using her picture, pretending to be her. Alyssa would have been eligible for parole for the first time in 2044, but since the Senate Bill 26 passed, someone convicted as a minor can ask for parole after 15 years. This means there is a chance Alyssa could be up for parole as early as 2027.
Wow. 2027. Okay, soon enough. But I'm a human being, man.